So in this video, I'm going to be replacing the door mirror. See here. Unfortunately, somebody did me a favour of knocking this off, but they didn't leave me the contact details, so I couldn't get in touch with them to thank them for doing such a thorough job. Hey ho. So we're going to have to replace the whole door mirror. I will put a little section in the video that shows how the actual door mirror is constructed and how it works, and show you that for the sake of one little piece, it's actually a big job, an expensive job, having to replace the whole thing. But there we go. So what we need to do is, obviously this part is going to come off, and on the inside we need to remove this. Let me just open that a little bit. We need to remove this panel here, this little panel here. It looks as though it tucks in behind this, so I may have to lower the window and remove the seal to get it off, and then it clips in somehow, and then there are 1, 2, 3 mounting points with these torque screws. I believe these are T45, these torque screws. So there's 3, one behind here and these 2. Now when we look at the new mirror, we can see that this piece here, yeah, on the new mirror there's a hook, and so it looks as though it must be fitted slightly lower. It hooks in and then slides up and locates into place on the outside, and then obviously this part will be held in by the 3 bolts on the inside. So we'll lower the window because it makes it easier for us to actually work on there if we're on the outside of the vehicle, or work on the outside if we're on the inside of the vehicle, for example, and it'll also make it easier to just remove this sealing strip. So this is the trim that's got to come off first of all. Now I've had a look and it doesn't fit behind the window seal, so we don't need to remove this seal at all. So it looks as though, from what I can tell, it just sort of clips in to the door frame. So here's the door panel and here's the clip. Okay, and this clip just slides up and locates in place, and you can see it's only a little bit of thin plastic that's holding it in place. So when you're pulling it off, there's every possibility that these clips are going to stay in the door frame, and you might snap or even break these little moldings that hold the clip in place. So it could be you might be able to actually wiggle and shove the door up, and hopefully maybe the clip, they'll slide off the clips, leave the clips in the door, then take the clips out, put them back into the molding or back into the trim, and then put it back into the trim and then refit it. Just do that so you can actually see a little more closely what they both look like. There, and then the top. Okay, so now we're just going to release these 3 bolts here. Okay, they're all fairly loose. So I'll fully remove the 2 bottom ones, which will then allow the weight of the old mirror to be held in place by this top screw. So we'll take it out, and then we'll just again hold the mirror, the body of the mirror in place, or the mirror mounting. Get the screw out. Okay. And what we need to do then is we pull and we make sure that the clip here, when we pull the bottom out, that it slides down. And that's the old one. That's the old one off. So to fit the new one, I'm on the inside and I'm leaning through the open window. So now we're going to hook that little panel into where it locates here, and then push it up. So it's located in at the top now. And now, while I'm holding on to the mirror, I'll put in the first bolt to make sure that the mirror isn't going to drop. I'll screw it in a good few threads just to make sure it's going to hold it. Right, so that's now in place. And before we tighten all of them up, always remember, whenever you're fitting bodywork or panels or anything like this, always make sure that you've got all of the screws in and screwing freely before you actually tighten any of them. Okay, so that one's in, and then that's the third one in. And just give it a jiggle, make sure it's sort of located properly, and then just pinch them up sort of hand tight-ish. And you don't need to worry about mixing the screws, they're all exactly the same length. Okay. So, for example, this one isn't shorter or longer than these two, they're all the same length. So I feel that's almost tight. That's tight. There's a bit of giving and where that foam is pressing up against the outside of the door, but then it goes solid like that. And all I'm going to do now is just pinch them into place. And that's the new door mirror fitted. Okay, so now the door mirror's on. We just carefully try and line these up. So this part of the trim actually slides in behind the door panel. So we'll have to fit it up and pull it out, and then make sure they're lined up. And when they're in the correct place, we should be able to click in and click in. And that's the door trim on. And that's the mirror replaced and refitted. Okay, that's all for now. If you liked the video, then leave a like. If you didn't like the video, then leave a dislike. Either way, leave a comment, suggestion, or any questions you may have in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my future content. Once again, thanks for watching.